YouTube, how's it going? John here at Herman Woodworks. Wanted to do a updated review on, or long-term kind of review on the Ridgid 13-inch thickness planer. I managed to cruise through 105 maple boards, all of them being between 6 and 8 inches across, almost all of them 8 plus foot long. So 105 boards makes 35 big bags of sawdust. These things are rock solid. I save my pellet burner bags from all my wood pellets, and I use them to put all that in. I give them to a friend. His wife has horses and end up being used for bedding. I've talked about it before in a couple other videos. You can't do it with all your sawdust, but maple, obviously pine, everybody likes. But that's another point. So on back to this. All right, for those of you who are new, if you haven't got to see my other video I did on this, if you're new here, please subscribe. But this is a Ridgid R4330 13-inch thickness planer. I showed how to change the blades on it, or I think I did. But stipulation, I still have my brand new blades. I had flipped the blades, the existing blades that were in there. I did all 105 boards on just the one side of the blades. And I'm here to tell you, they turned out awesome. I am literally not going to be, I'm going to be using them for tongue and groove board for an overhang area. And I'm here to tell you that I'm not going to be sanding a board. They almost all turned out real glassy. Maple does really well with that. Smooth as butter to the touch. I'll kind of go over a couple of boards a little bit after this. But yeah, I had some other previous issues where this was clogging a little bit. It was because I really didn't have any suction going. I had the shop vac hooked up, didn't have a problem with it. I really kept it to where I was only taking about a 64th, maybe a 32nd off at a time, especially when I was getting to a couple of the wider boards that I had going through. But when I was doing that, it was feeding them great. It was doing very, very, very well. All right, before I get into the boards, I actually don't know if I showed it in my other video. I'm not going back to look at it right now. But this was the setup I had. So I had the machine sitting on that table. I set these feed rollers on the in feed and out feed at the same height. That one's a little lower right now because I kind of had them just dropping out. But that's the only thing with this, especially unless you got it actually hard mounted down. I guess I've seen a couple videos where guys are taking these and mounting it on the actual like miter saw stands so that they can kind of just feed out with the extended arms on this. But this system worked out really awesome. I just would literally feed it in on the rollers. It would come out. Sometimes I had to catch it because it would just, once it was kind of a smooth down board, it would just glide right out. But yeah, that was awesome. All these boards I had cut on the mill. On the mill, I had cut them at 4/4. Most of them were just a hair over an inch thick. And the shaper machine I have that I'm going to be putting all the tongue and groove on these with, the cutter is for a 3/4 tongue and groove. So knocked all these down to 3/4. Yeah, let's get into some of the boards. So these couple boards on the ground, I actually started joining a couple of boards. So the next big project to go with this is all of these are going to have to get one edge jointed and or taking a track saw or whatever and cutting it off, getting it ready so that I can feed them all through this and get them to it's going to be a mix. There's going to probably be some 5 to 6 inch thick boards and some 8 inch thick boards. It's going to be a hodgepodge. It's custom. It's mine. So, but yeah, so these are some of the boards. So this is all maple. There's a big variety going on here. You know, we had some ambrosia striping in here. Some of the logs, I can't remember. I might have had them sitting on the ground for a little bit because they even kind of pulled in some mineral coloration going on. But like I was saying, these things are smooth. or as smooth as I need them to be. This one's almost kind of got like, it's almost like bird's eye marking going on. Now these boards, like this here, until we got down to this mark, when going through that, the Ridgid thickness planer, this, it would just go right through that like butter. The only time you'd get a little choke, but that's probably going to be with any machine, when you would get any of these knot marks, you know, it has to fight a little harder just because of the grain direction. So it, you know, starts pulling in. You have to start using up the horsepower there. I'm not gonna lie, I'm partially mad at myself that I'm gonna be using these for this project, because there are some awesome looking boards in here. But yeah, it's crazy how you can have so much variety in the maple, you just from the different colorations to then basically just an all out just blonde board basically. But you can see stack, stack, stack. Lot of maple. All right, YouTube, just doing another quick review update on this Ridgid 13-inch thickness planer. Honestly, it worked like a trooper. Like I said, I only literally went through the one side of the blades doing 105 boards, 35 bags of sawdust. You know, I don't know what's standard. I thought it was pretty impressive. You know, it took a little while. I've been an ultra busy guy. I still haven't got to do a video on it, but my house, my wife and I's house is being built. It is under roof already. That's been a whole thing that's been hogging up a lot of my time and trying to get our house ready for sale. So there's going to be another video eventually on building a new shop. It's probably not going to be anytime soon until the house is sold, but I will keep everyone in the loop when that time comes. Like I said before, if you guys are new, please subscribe, and I will talk to everyone again soon.